Welcome back to the channel, and on today's video we are doing quite a lot of things to the MK5 Golf R32. What we are going to tackle are these brake discs, brake pads, brake lines, and I'm actually going to change the brake fluid because this car needs a full overhaul. So that's brakes on the front, brakes on the rear. I have got a knocking on the front and I'm not 100% if it's a ball joint or if it is a drop link. So what I've decided to do is change both of those on both sides, and because it is old, everything that needs changing I will change. Now, the jobs that I am doing, some of them are necessary and some of them are just maintenance. So we will open these for the first time and see what we have. So that is it. MTEC drilled brakes. I didn't want the drilled and grooved. I didn't want anything else other than that. I was trying to keep it simple but do an upgrade at the same time. I won't bother opening the rears because they're pretty much going to be the same as those. Then we've got the brake pads, and oh yeah, by the way, I bought these from eBay as a package. They were the cheapest ones I could find at the time of looking, so we will see if they're any good, but they're going to be better than what's on the car at the moment. And these are the front pads, dust shields for the front, which I bought from Autodoc. So these are the Hell braided lines, which I got from eBay. These obviously longer ones are the fronts, and these shorter ones in the bag are the rears. Brake fluid, which I have used on the GTI. So I've got both side ball joints, and I have also got the droplink MOOG again, which I believe are a decent make. So there we have it. Everything I need to start the first bit of work on the MK5 R32, and I start by removing the brake pad retaining clip and the caliper slide pins with a 7mm hex. This will enable me to remove the brake caliper, which I then hang up with a bungee cord. Next, I use a 21mm socket to remove the two carrier bolts which hold the brake carriers to the hub, or the knuckle as some people call them. Once this is done, I can then remove the brake disc. And it actually doesn't look too bad. So that's the front of it, and the back of it has only got a little bit of corrosion around the edge, but if you look at the thickness, it's actually decent. So I believe that could go to an engineering type of place and they could probably skim that off. Right, I've come to the conclusion these are not coming out. I'm trying with that one, it's too corroded. So what I'm going to have to try is get my Dremel, put a slice in the screw and try and tap it out that way. Once that is removed, I can install the new shield and the new brake disc. Don't forget to give the disc a quick clean with brake cleaner, because sometimes they are coated in grease like these are. Next, I fixed the carriers back to the knuckle . Then install the new brake pads in the caliper, and then install the caliper to the carrier. New disc, new pads, new shield. I've put all the bolts back in. Now I just need to put this clip back in. Now I have to install the hell braided brake lines. I unclip the brake line retaining clip, followed by unscrewing the brake line with an 11mm spanner. Once this is done, I go to the other side of the brake line and do the same. And I basically do those steps in reverse to install the braided lines. So the front brake is now complete. It was a little bit harder than what I thought it was going to be to do. Everything was a bit corroded on there, and now we move on to the rear. Right, I'm having to change my plan a little bit because I am struggling. I can't even get past first base. This I'm not sure what you call it, if it's a banjo bolt or what, but this locking nut on the brake line is fully seized. I cannot loosen that. I may have to take it to my local garage to do these. It's a shame, but you know, these things happen and I don't want to get myself into a situation. So what I will do is I'm going to turn the car around and I'm going to do the other side. Right, it is the next day and we haven't got too far on the R32. We are on with the front brake, so the discs are on, the new pads are in, the dust shield, the hell braided lines are in, and that is both fronts complete. Now let's get these on the car. I use an 18mm ring spanner and a 6mm spline to loosen the nuts on this drop link. But to install the new one, I use the same 18mm ring spanner, but this time I use a hex instead of a spline. One drop link down and one to go. This is the new one in place. Hopefully it will make a lot of difference, and the reason why I say that is because I have the old one over here, and what I want to show you is this one has a split, so that is not good. I'm kind of glad I'm changing these as a precaution. We are going to change the ball joint which is underneath there, this track rod end, and we're going to change this inner tie rod. I have already removed the drive shaft from the hub, and I am now hanging it out of the way with a bungee cord. Now I can remove and replace the old lower ball joint and install the new lower ball joint. I have to keep rocking and wiggling the hub just so that I can get the drive shaft back in place. Then I have to wiggle the hub again, this time to get the ball joint to fit into the wishbone. Work on the R32 has come to a bit of a halt because we have snow in my area, and on my street we have ice because it's not a through road, it is a cul-de-sac, which means this street is not a priority for the council to clear. Yeah, because of that it's not clearing up very fast, but as soon as it does I'll be back on with finishing the R32. And today is that day. No messing, straight in with the grinder, because the track rod ends on this car are fully seized. Now I have cut the track rod end off. There's a little clip inside there. I need to break that off, and then I can pull this boot off. Then I can get to the inner tie rod bolt, and this is the inner tie rod bolt, this thing here. So I have got a tool, which is this, and basically it will go on here, lock onto there, and you turn it and it should come off. And just like that, it is out with the old track rod end and back on with the new. Tighten up with the tool and back on with both the boot and the clip. Right, this is the track rod end and this is the inner track rod, and what I'm going to do is measure from this point here where that first ring is to where the lock nut is there, and that is so I can measure from this point here where that first ring is to wherever the lock nut is going to going here, so I can get it somewhere close to where the track rod end was originally, so my tracking is not massively out. It's going to be out, but hopefully it won't be massively out. Well, it's a few days on from when I tried to fit the rear brakes on this car, and I can finally say the MTEC drilled discs are fitted, the MTEC pads are fitted, the hell braided lines, and the new brake pipe, because the nut was seized, if you remember. It has been a bit of a nightmare for me to do, but I did stitch my local garage up. They was fighting with this car for hours to unseize those brakes, but they finally did it. They charged me accordingly though, so don't think that they just done it for nothing. I've got plenty of things to do on this car, so I will do the brake fluid at some point, but at the moment that is complete. So all I want to say is I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe, it would help me out massively. Like the video, comment and share it with people who you know who like this kind of content. And yeah, that's enough from me. Bye for now.